Adam lived a simple life in Harmony Springs. It was the kind of town where everyone knew your name. He worked at Lou's Diner, flipping burgers and pouring coffee. The regulars loved his easy smile and quick wit. Nights were for music. Adam played guitar in a band called the Night Owls. They weren't famous, but they had a loyal following at the Rusty Nail, the only bar in town. Life was comfortable, predictable, normal, or so it seemed. Adam had no reason to believe otherwise. He had his routine, his friends, his music. It was enough. He never dwelled on the past. He couldn't have known that every year on the same date something extraordinary happened. The night always started the same. A prickling sensation on the back of his neck, an uneasy feeling in the pit of his stomach. Then, darkness. Adam would vanish from his bed, leaving no trace. He would awaken on a cold steel table, bathed in a blinding white light. They were there, the Greys. Their large black eyes, devoid of emotion, watched his every move. They spoke in whispers, their voices raspy and thin like dry leaves, skittering across pavement. They ran tests, drawing blood, scanning his brain, their touch cold and impersonal. Adam, confused and afraid, would struggle against the restraints. He never understood, he never would. The Greys would return him to his bed before dawn, his memories wiped clean, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread. The years passed, marked by these annual abductions. Adam's friends and family noticed subtle changes. He was quieter, more introspective. His once vibrant personality seemed muted, dimmed by an unseen force. His lyrics, once full of youthful optimism, now reflected a darkness, a sense of existential angst. His bandmates chalked it up to artistic growth. His friends thought he was going through a phase. His parents worried, but he brushed off their concerns. He couldn't explain the emptiness that gnawed at him, the feeling of being incomplete, of being different. He was a stranger to himself, lost in the labyrinth of his own mind. He was a prisoner in his own life. This year something was different. As the familiar prickling sensation crept up his neck, a surge of primal fear coursed through Adam's veins. This time the darkness was deeper, colder, more absolute. He woke on the cold table, but the usual fear was replaced by a burning rage. He thrashed against the restraints, his eyes blazing with an unholy light. The Greys, taken aback by his ferocity, paused in their work. Adam's features contorted, his humanity fading, replaced by something ancient, something evil. The air crackled with unseen energy. A guttural growl emanated from deep within him, shaking the very foundations of the ship. The demon within had awakened. Panic surged through the Greys' ranks. Their instruments, normally buzzing with efficiency, sputtered and died. The lights flickered. The demon roared, its voice a cacophony of screams and whispers echoing through the sterile confines of the ship. It spoke in a language older than time, a language of chaos and destruction. The Greys, their telepathic abilities useless against this primal force, tried to reason with the entity. Their voices, usually calm and measured, were laced with fear. They spoke of cosmic balance, of universal harmony, but their words were met with a deafening roar. The demon, fueled by eons of rage, thrashed against its fleshy prison, intent on breaking free. Within that maelstrom of rage, a flicker of Adam's consciousness remained. He watched in horror as the demon wreaked havoc. He saw the fear in the Greys' eyes. He felt the ship shuddering around him. He knew he had to do something. With a Herculean effort, he forced himself to the forefront of his consciousness. He cried out to the Greys, his voice a whimper against the demon's roar. He pleaded for them to stop, to release him. He didn't understand what was happening, but he knew he didn't want to be a part of it anymore. He just wanted to go home. The demon raged against Adam's pleas, its power threatening to rip him apart from the inside out. The Greys, sensing the battle raging within him, hesitated. Never before had they encountered such resistance, such raw, untamed power. They had underestimated their subject, mistaking his passivity for weakness. They had awakened something ancient, something they couldn't control. And so, with a collective decision, they chose to retreat. They deactivated the restraints, their instruments whirring back to life. The light returned to its blinding intensity, and then, just as suddenly as it began, it was over. Adam vanished from the table, back to his bed, his mind mercifully blank. He awoke the next morning feeling strangely calm, a sense of peace washing over him. He couldn't explain it, but he felt lighter, freer. Back on their ship, light years away, the Greys watched Adam through their monitors. They had never encountered anything like it. The raw power of the demon, the desperation in Adam's plea, it left them shaken. They had spent eons studying the universe, searching for answers. But this was beyond their comprehension. They had been so focused on what made Adam special, they had failed to see the darkness lurking beneath the surface. They had awakened a force they couldn't control. But amidst the chaos, they had also witnessed something unexpected. A flicker of defiance, a spark of humanity shining through the darkness, a desperate plea for release, and in that moment, they saw a glimmer of hope. The Greys continued to watch Adam, their cold, calculating gaze fixed on his every move. They studied his interactions, analyzed his dreams, searching for any sign of the demon's return. They waited, their patience infinite, their motives obscured. They had set him free, hoping he would find a way to contain the darkness within. They hoped that his humanity, his inherent goodness, would ultimately triumph. But a part of them, a small, disquieting part, wondered if they had unleashed something truly terrible upon the universe. They could only watch and wait. The fate of Adam, and perhaps even the universe itself, hung in the balance.